profitable. So very often when people ask me, how do you forecast? What's the trend? It sounds extremely ephemeral, but there is nothing ephemeral in forecasting upcoming trends in the market. There is nothing ephemeral about forecasting or analyzing how stock are going to be high in Wall Street. So if we view the concept of identifying upcoming trends as a monetary result, then we are extremely fascinated. Unfortunately, for many, many years, the jewelry sector is being very secluded and ghettoized. And we come from a background, a historical background, where gold was purchased on a scale. And diamonds are basically quoted as a benchmark, with a benchmark price. But the truth of the matter is that very top jewelry designer, or brands, whatever you want to call it, because there are global brands, and then there are designers brands, which is completely different. Tiffany is a brand. Steven Webster, to mention one, who could have mentioned other important designers, are a designer brand. So that changes the context. So if we basically understand that these people were able to create what we call perceived value to a product, where basically the concept of gold on a scale and diamonds, okay, with a benchmark, are just limited to a certain amount of money. Now we are getting to the point, profits. The market is always chasing to find the right product, but we're only looking at our little booth and the trade shows. Trends don't start from a trade show, and I'm sorry to disappoint many of my colleagues as well as some buyers. Trends come from the streets. Trends come from social cultural changes, from things around us. And I would like to jump right away in what is extremely tangible. Those are what we call scapes. Those are like the three main elements that we basically, we are looking at, we monitor, okay? So trends is not about predicting. People ask me, how do you predict trends? I don't predict trends, I'm an analyst. So basically what we do is we look at social influence, social cultural influences, such as technology, how technology evolves nowadays. Touchscreen technology is very desirable. Disposable income are limited. The economy is very much depressed worldwide. America has a big problem. Europe has a big problem. There are emerging markets, yes, but the level of perception of luxury is very different. So we also have to, if we want to go to China, we have to understand the consumer attitude of the Chinese consumer. So when we talk about social influences, if we know that disposable income are limited, and today, the perception of luxury is no longer into intrinsic value of the product, but an iPad or a trip to Maldives Islands or whatever or to Vegas. For some people, coming to Vegas is a desirable place to come. So that's luxury. But luxury is also a fantastic bottle of wine. So if you have just a certain amount of money, that's where jewelry today have to compete. What does it mean? That we are a society of emotional consumption. Today, you know very well, you walk the show, and there are a lot of mixed media. The iPad generation, the iGeneration, you want to call it, they are attracted by design or the pieces that they feel they can underline and express a better personality. I know that many of you, might feel, well, we don't really care about this, we just sell diamonds, we want to do that, and it's important. But consider that diamonds nowadays are also mounted because of that in contemporary metal, or sterling silver and titanium and steel, etc., etc. And consider that Mr. Fawaz Guozi from De Grisogono, 15 years ago, started using black diamonds, which had discarded, they were rubbish, and mounted on leather or razza, which is now here. I mean, I've seen large calf produced most probably in the Far East with diamonds or colored gemstones, and now 15 years later here, produced for, you know, the consumer are luxury, and they are large cap. So you see, it's not very much disconnected. So it's up to you if you want to be a leader or a follower. It's up to you if you want to be passive or active. So social influences such environmental changes, for instance, the eco-consumer, which today is very much aware of the way they eat, the way they dress. And then at the end, they're ethical about the way they're purchasing their jewelry. And it's not necessarily the way they are produced only related to a blood diamond or not, or platinum, you know, taken from mines where there were not problems, because I'm also involved in that as well, but also in material, mixed media that could be recycled wood, or could be plastic, or could be alternative stones. Minerals, like rocks, associated with diamonds, are very high. So it's very much now something else. So when we're looking at social influence, we're going then to market indicators. What are market indicators? Market indicators are the stocks, okay? In this case, stocks are, you know, what's selling in, let's say, North America. What kind of design atmospheres, for instance, leaf, flowers, abstract, lace, etc., etc. Lace, for instance. Laser cut technology is extremely evolved. And the reason why it has evolved, so because gold is very expensive as well, platinum, and even sterling, because due to the fact that gold was very expensive, now in the last 2 years, I would say, sterling silver is really big, you know, it's very much requested. So now it's expensive as well. So what does it mean that now it's expensive? So laser cut technology has developed many open work design as well lace. So we are seeing on the floor a lot of many bangles, large medallion, open work with either romantic inspired laces or completely abstract. That is part of a market indicator. So what we do, it's really observe this phenomenon in an objective way. And most of the time we're able to do it ahead of time because we are really monitoring social influences and how they have an effect on our daily life and therefore are creating consumer attitude. And we are consumers. We are the victim and the doer of that. Now, of course, when we are presenting this kind of information, we are doing it on an international level. By international, I mean global. So we are really scouting from North America to Europe, to China, to India, and South, and of course South America as well, and around the globe. Of course, there are some epicenters which are more relevant than others. What I mean by epicenter, New York is definitely an epicenter in America. That is where things are happening ahead of time because the cluster of people, the combination of social-cultural background is very relevant, as well the economic level is higher compared to others, and the educational level. And that's where sometimes there are antennas where things are happening faster or quicker or ahead of time. London could be another place, Hong Kong, as well as Shanghai or Beijing. But even Mumbai is very hot, is a hit spot to be. Dubai, Sao Paulo, Rio de Janeiro, Milano, etc., etc. And of course Paris, but just to mention a few. Then we should talk about